Welcome to the Kevin Clancy Show. I've been in this game over a decade, and I knew I needed a place where I could run wild on my own solo podcast, where I tell personal stories, I deep dive into conspiracy theories, we rip through the current events of the day, and we do sit-down conversations with the most interesting people on the internet. Make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss an episode. What's up, you mutts? It's another episode of the Kevin Clancy Show, as I tweeted out. Let's get it. Big episode on deck. We're going to do basically a little 1 minute, man, with ripping through some topics. I got to get through a recap of what went down in Boston and Florida. We already did a lot of that on the on KFC Radio, but a couple extra things to talk about here. I'm caught up in the world of MMA right now. There's a whole lot to get into. Plus, of course, your calls. Probably in about 45 minutes we'll dive into it. I don't know whether the show's going to be an hour 15, hour and a half. You never know. Once we get going, we'll see where we end up. What up to my man Za?
How you doing, bro?
What's good, my man?
Good, man. Just got off the first stop in the Barstool Classic. Got back in yesterday afternoon. So
where's that at?
Looking a little tanner. We were down in South Carolina, apparently the golf capital of the world, Myrtle Beach.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and it was a good time. It was really good.
You ever fuck with sunblock?
No.
You don't need to do that, right?
I used to do it back when I used to play cricket. So there was a famous cricket player named Alan Donald from South Africa, and he used to put sunblock on his nose. So I used to do that, but I'd look stupid in like pictures.
That's like like the Jordan tongue sticking out. I think he did the fucking zinc on the nose. Have you ever been sunburned?
No, so I don't think black people actually do get
that was my question. I didn't know if is there enough sun somewhere that you could get
So I do get darker. I have gotten a shade darker and all, but if you touch my skin after 2 days of being in the sun, it doesn't hurt. Unlike you guys, if I just look at you when you're burnt, you're like, ah. It's crazy. I can't relate.
Yo, the one thing people are always surprised with me, I can get tan. I'm the one person in my family that tans.
Yeah.
My brother is if he looks at the sun, he's red. And I can for sure get sunburned too. But if I do it right, I actually get pretty tan. And people are always stunned by that. But you don't even know what a sunburn feels like.
No.
I have no idea.
I cannot relate whatsoever to
Dude, when you get real burned and you're hot but you're cold and you can't shower because it's too hot and you can't close. It is the fucking
Wait, so even cold water kills you?
It's no, but you don't want to put cold. I mean, I guess you want to you can't do a cold shower. I can do if you put a wet a towel on you or something that you put aloe on. That cool feels good. But sometimes if it's real bad, your body's putting off heat, but you got the chills at the same time. It's like being sick. You feel like a crack addict going through withdrawal when you're fucking sunburned.
Don't it suck to be white, Kevin?
It's so hard out here.
It's so tough to be white, man.
It's so tough. Let me tell you, dude. I would trade it right now if I could. Never have. No, but for real.
Yeah.
It might all come out in the wash. Just having to put on sunblock. Let me tell you that much. I'll trade you anything for not having to put sunblock on.
Sure?
Dude, when I'm maybe not the whole police brutality thing, but everything else, bro. When you have to sunblock is like Elmer's glue, bro. When you're lathering up, it feels like you're putting on elementary school glue on your body. And it's in my hair and it's not rubbed in and it only lasts for 25 seconds if you really
gotta redo it.
It's a fucking nightmare, dude. It is not easy out here for the white folks.
Well, thank God I'm black.
Bro, but you would have appreciated the circumstances down in Florida at Captain Khan's wedding because I know you are a sweaty dude too, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you a question. What do you think is more ridiculous? Me just sitting there sweating my face off and dripping, or I had a little towel that I carried over my shoulder that I would just kind of dab off on. That's what you do, right?
Yep, I'm a sweat towel guy. It's almost sweat towel season.
And I know it's fucking gross, that's ridiculous too. But they were like, you looked absurd. I was like, well, I'm gonna look absurd anyway because I'm sweating my fucking face off. I'd rather be able to just dab every now and then and not have it dripping off of me.
It was down in Naples, right?
Yeah, man. It was beautiful, but I just I can't do it, dude. I'm just a sweaty guy. Yeah. I'm a hot guy. I run hot. Yeah. I keep my apartment at 64 degrees. I am always running hot, so Florida weather just does not jive with your boy. So
I used to carry like changes of clothes and stuff like that. It was bad.
I mean, I looked absurd. If you haven't heard the whole story, I left my dress shirt and shoes in the hotel in Boston up where we were doing our live shows. So when I got to Florida, I needed to buy clothes. We went to a Walmart that was on the way because we also, flying from Boston, we were cutting it extremely close. And I ended up buying a short sleeve dress shirt like Dwight Schrute, and I looked fucking ridiculous.
I was about to be like, you went full suit from Walmart?
No, I had the suit, but I didn't have the shirt and the shoes. So I got this short sleeve shirt and a pair of like plastic shoes, and I looked absolutely absurd, and I was drenched with sweat. So.
How was the wedding though? Good?
It was wonderful. It was awesome.
Nice.
Like if it was, you know, if I wasn't a sweaty mess, like everyone else was happy because it was down, it was outside, it was beautiful, it was like right on the water at this amazing, I think, golf club or country club, whatever. It was a real good time.
Any like Irish stuff? Because Cons is Irish, right?
Yeah.
Did he pull out the kilt?
No, there was none of that. They didn't go that far, but you know, just good old white people. You know what? At one point, I actually said it. It was they were playing the Queen song. What's the really long one? The fucking Bohemian Rhapsody. And I was like looking around at everyone belting it out, and I was like, this is the whitest moment of all time. Like, there was a lot of white folks singing that shit, and I was like, this is as cream cheese white as it fucking gets. But it was a fucking hell of a time. Cons' bride she planned like the whole thing out, start to finish, and it was really, really well done. It was a very good time. But yeah, there I am looking like a fucking a door-to-door Bible salesman. I could not tell you how bad.
That looks like a Walmart shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a Walmart shirt.
I wanted to crawl into a hole and die. I really, really did.
You can't go collar up with the short sleeves. You gotta do no tie.
I know. Well, you know what it was? When I had it on and I had the jacket on, I looked fine.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna take some pictures with my whole suit on, and when I first show up, I looked fine then. But it was so hot that my plan was to leave the jacket on the whole time. I would have died. I would have fucking died. And I know, shout out to any of my sweaty guys out there. Anytime you dress up, you have to make the decision whether you're going to try to keep the jacket on and just be hot and sweat, or take it off. Because the problem is, if you're hot, everybody says, if I'm like, oh my God, I'm hot, I'm sweating. People are like, why don't you take your jacket off? Well, because I'm hot and I'm sweating, and now I have pit stains and stains everywhere, so now I can't fucking take the jacket off. These people who don't have to deal with this, they don't know. They don't understand the struggle. So you either have to make the decision to take the jacket off early and hope to God that somehow it keeps you cool and you're not sweating, or once you've started the heat process, I don't know about you, but once I get hot, I can't stop.
Yeah.
Like I'm done until the end of the night when I can like lay on my bed and just try to cool off. Once I start, I don't stop. So you either got to keep it on or take it off early. And if you do anything in between, you're totally fucked. It is the struggle. It is the cross we bear as dudes who run hot. I mean, I'm talking like, go back to like 7th grade when I had to go to like the occasional, there was a couple dances in our county that you had to dress up for. So like the first, I'm like 13 years old and I'm like, well, wait a minute, I'm sweating in this jacket, but if I take it off, I'm like, I don't even know how to do it. Now it's you got to make your commitment and you make your decision early. But it is, for the people out there who don't sweat, girls don't have to worry about it. There's certain guys out there who they don't. Fuck those guys. Fuck you guys. You don't know how much of a blessing that is. I swear, if I could do some ATI, you've got a wish or a genie or you have 3 wishes to make something happen. One of them would be I never got to worry about fucking sweat and being hot again. It is such a goddamn inconvenience.
The worst.
So, what's the number real quick? I want to get that out there.
It is 888. Oh, sorry, 88-STOOL-22. There we go. So for the dummies, 888-786-6522. 22. Call in. Okay, so let's start rattling through. This is basically like the 1 Minute Man edition of the Kevin Clancy show. So we're gonna rattle through a handful of topics. The 1 Minute Man I did yesterday on the UFC. We'll talk about in a moment. Actually, fuck it. We'll start with that. The big news in the MMA world is Jorge Masvidal
knocked Colby Covington's tooth out outside of a Miami steakhouse. Let me tell you something about the MMA world. It's right up there with hockey, a little bit soccer. These guys want their sport to be popular, but then when you talk about it, they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a casual. MMA fans love saying casual. Yes. Yeah. Casual. I'm a fucking casual fan. Extremely casual, as a matter of fact. That doesn't mean that I can't look at the circumstances of the big news and apply just like regular fucking logic and other sports knowledge and life knowledge to a situation. So the situation at hand is Jorge Masvidal found out that Colby Covington was in Miami, in his city, outside a steakhouse. He doesn't like him. He went over and knocked his fucking tooth out. Now, these two guys grew up together. They came up together in the UFC. They used to be best friends. Then they had a falling out once Covington started to rise in the game and also lean into this kind of like MAGA bro, white guy, conservative shtick. There was some stories about how he didn't pay a couple of the trainers and coaches that those guys work with. Masvidal says he keeps talking about his family. But here's the thing. What it all boils down to for me. Masvidal has said, and anybody knows about him says, like, he doesn't give a fuck about whether it's in the ring or out of the ring. He doesn't give a fuck about sportsmanship and playing by the rules and shit. If he's got beef with you, it's real beef. It's not about, like, meet me in the ring with a referee. It's like, I want to hurt you. I don't like you. I want to end you. That's how he rolls. Covington himself has said, if we see each other out, everybody gets a free pay-per-view. Being like, yeah, we'll fight in public too. So that's what happened. And a lot of the Covington fans are like, oh, why don't you meet him in the ring? You're a coward. He just beat you. He just went 25 minutes with you and it wasn't enough. Now you got to sucker punch him. Talking about like Masvidal gives a fuck about like rules and you know, being a good sport. He wants to kill the guy. So, you know, what do you want him to? Masvidal is like, I'm going to roll up on you because you're in my city and beat you up. And what do you want him to square up and be like, okay, now let's set some rules here. Let's have a couple ground rules. Well, here's what we're gonna do in this street fight. Let's make sure we have someone watching so that we can play. No, he wants to fucking just roll you. That's how it works. Him and his boys fucking jump you because they don't like you. Now, I'm not saying that's honorable or anything. I'm just saying when both guys have said on the record that they hate each other, it's a blood feud, and if they see each other out, it's on sight. Well, Masvidal did exactly what he's fucking said he was going to do forever now. And, you know, not that I'm some tough guy who acts that way, not that I could handle that if it ever happened to me, but I'm just saying these two guys are, you know, UFC fighters are fucking animals. And they are like violent, crazy-ass dudes. And when they say they're going to do some shit and they say they're going to fight you and beat you up, it's going to fucking happen. You know, again, is it the most honorable thing? Is it sportsmanship? No. But, you know, I guess what we learned here is when, like, don't take Masvidal lightly. When he speaks on something, he's going to do it. So, I mean, I think we know, everybody knows Covington it really is like a cut above when it comes to his wrestling and his cardio and how long he can last and all that shit. We know that he's the only one in that weight class who can even compare to Usman. It's those two. It's really Usman, then a significant gap into Covington, and then a huge fall off. But, you know, Masvidal is that dude with the fucking swagger and the persona, and he'll still strike the fuck out of you. So I just say it's good for the sport, and you have your rubber match now. But man, I put that video out yesterday, knowing that Masvidal is a Barstool fan, and I was like, oh boy, I hope he likes this. I mean, I'm your boy. I am Team Masvidal for life. I will ride with him forever to the fucking shadow realm and back. But I still was like, okay, I'm gonna make this video about this situation with one of the most bad motherfuckers on the planet. Hope you like it. And got the seal of approval. He reposted it on his stories, so I was like, whew, okay, good. As if it's like, you know, okay to be on Covington's bad side. I mean, these guys will both fucking end me with like a flick of their fingers. But it's a wild world now when, you know, I've always said the new age Barstool, the difference is everything you write or post or say pretty much gets back to the person you're talking about. Maybe not like the elite superstars of the industries you're talking about. Maybe sometimes even that it will reach them, but they just don't care. But a lot of people, you're talking about athletes, you're talking about entertainers, you're talking about whoever is in the news, and they're going to see that shit, and they're going to react to it. And I've always said, and I mean it, I would love to go back to the days of being an anonymous troll. It was the best. It was the fucking best. Back when we were like big enough that people would read it, but not big enough that the target, if you will, or the subject of, whatever you're talking about would read your blog, because you're allowed, then you can cut loose and be funny. It's like a lot of times I always believe what I say, but I'm not a social misfit. I know, if you're gonna see what I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna go all the way. I'm not gonna go 100%. So when you're clowning someone or talking shit and making fun of how they look or what they do or whatever, I would much rather prefer they don't ever see it. And that way you can read it and we're all entertained, and I can write it and it's all good, but I don't have to worry about being a fucking asshole. But nowadays it's like, you better really, really mean what you say. You better really, really believe it, because they're going to see it. So when you sit down and you make a video about Jorge Masvidal, rest assured, he's going to see it. He's going to have some opinions. He is just the baddest motherfucker on the planet, dude. I will ride with Masvidal in the ring, out of the ring, whatever. Dade County, that's what's up.
There it is.
Yo,
It reminds me of that Charlemagne incident that happened with that Power 105.
Yeah.
Someone just pulled up on him.
I mean, it's some of these guys, it's not a fucking game. It's not a joke. It's like he does this for a career and for money and for his family and shit because he's good enough and he can. But I feel like he's one of those dudes, like tomorrow he'd be like, whatever. This can all go away, man. I'm just all about, like, I handle my business. That's what I do.
That's a fight game.
So yeah, I mean, it's people. It's like people are surprised that what's the old I want to say it's Chris Rock joke, or maybe Neil Brennan. I don't know who it is when it's like you get mad at football players when they beat football players off the field. You get mad at MMA fighters when they do MMA anywhere else other than an octagon. It's like, well, of course these guys are wired different like that. It's absolutely fucking crazy. So I can I'm assured. I'm safe, let's say, with the latest incident, although the MMA industry is not happy. Yeah, what are you going to do, stab me? Yes, that is one of the most classic, what was that, like a police report or whatever? What are you going to do, stab me? Man who was stabbed. So all good, although the MMA crowd is not happy with me. But fuck the MMA crowd. You guys can't ever. You're never gonna like anybody who's not like Bob Fox. And and people even hate on Bob Fox. It's like you can love the sport and read everything and analyze everything and know exactly what you're talking about, and you still got people who don't like your takes.
I was gonna say everybody's been like they still give him hell, and I'm pretty sure their parlays have been like
money. Spinning back fists have been, like 5-leg parlays that they're hitting on every pay-per-view. So it's like, who knows the sport better than these guys? Not many people, and you still have haters. So fuck off. Next topic. This one. I love this one. This Brazilian singer named Polka. She got rushed to the hospital. She had big stomach problems. Rushed to the hospital. The cause of the problems was that she was holding in her farts too long because she said she was not on fart terms with her boyfriend. So this chick is a mega smoke. She's some singer in Brazil. Her body is banging. She's a beautiful, dark hair, light eyes, dark skin brunette, like unreal. And she was with her boyfriend. And, so listen, some people fart in front of each other. Some people don't. Some people wait until there's a certain point in the relationship where they're going to fart in front of each other and they have an open door bathroom policy, whatever. This girl, Polka, she was not at quote unquote fart in front of each other level. So she held it in and she held it in and she held it in until she had extreme stomach pains and needed to be rushed to the hospital. And you know what I say to that? Well done, girl. Well done. I'm not even kidding you. This girl is a hero for this right here. Because you know what? She's taken a bullet for the relationship. She loves this guy so much, she's willing to take on the pain and bear that cross just to make sure the relationship stays alive. Because let me tell you this much like the jackets out where you got to decide whether you take it on or take it off, you either got to decide if you're going to fart or if you're going to hold it in the whole time. Because the worst case scenario is you hold it and you hold it and you hold it, and then halfway through the date you decide you can't anymore, and then you drop an atomic fart that's like 10 farts built up, and then there's no coming back because it's loud and it's stinky and it's like a tugboat, and the boyfriend is like, what the fuck was that?
So I did a bit more digging, and apparently the situation got a bit worse because before she went to hospital, she was seeking medical. So she felt the stomach pains, and she was seeking medical attention on like TikTok. She was looking for like medical advice on TikTok.
Well, we all know the doctors are on TikTok, of course. Fucking this world, I swear to God, everyone's an expert now. But listen, I am a firm believer. I don't fart. I don't want you to fart.
Okay, I was about to ask, what would you do?
No, so if I'm on like a date. If I'm anywhere, you just get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Fart somewhere else. Shit somewhere else. I believe that, so I don't think you should do bathroom shit in front of each other. Friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, anybody. I think that shit is private. Now, everybody seems to usually have at least like one guy in the crew who's like the funny farter. My buddy in like middle school and high school, he could fart on command. They were always loud. He'd always do a fist thing or a motion, and it was hilarious. That is whatever. But the people who just like fart on their girlfriend and think it's funny, or the girls who just fucking let it rip, or you pee and shit with the door open, I never get that. I think that is like the beginning of the end, where you are acknowledging like, I don't think of you as special enough anymore. We're just like buddies hanging out, and I'll shit in front of you. I mean, with the door open, your girl's gonna be sitting there like, no, come on.
Yeah, I don't get that. There's that saying that only your shit doesn't stink kind of deal. It's like, why would you desire to go into someone's fucking shitting area and just inhale all that nonsense now?
And I guess you could say that like the couple that shits together stays together. That if you really love someone so much, it's not like I would break up with somebody, but I just don't think you should be openly doing it like on purpose, because it just, like I said, it ruins. It's like when you like close your eyes and you think of the person you're with, you want to have fun, happy, sexy, hot memories and visions of them. And if all of a sudden you have this one thing that creeps in, it's them on the fucking toilet bowl ripping butt burps that echo in the empty toilet. Well, that's not exactly the hottest way to remember your significant other. Now, this chick is an absolute rocket. She probably could fart, like, on my head, and I'd be like, whatever, girl. But, everyone's sexy down in Brazil. She could be replaced by another girl who doesn't fart. And now, do I recommend sending yourself to the hospital? No. Do I commend her for being able... You can hold in your farts, but usually at some point, it's coming, bro. So do I commend her for being able to hold it in to the point she ate those burps, man? Sometimes they're brewing inside you, and you just kind of swallow them, and they just kind of like latch on to like the insides, and they just stay there. But eventually those motherfuckers are going to build up, and they're coming out one way or the other. What I don't get is just go to the bathroom. What I do believe in, there's not a point in the relationship where it's like, okay, I can fart in front of you or shit in front of you. There is a point in the relationship where, hey, I was in the bathroom for 9 minutes. You know what that means. You know what I mean? Like in the very beginning, you don't even want to be in the bathroom longer than the amount of time it takes to pee. In the very beginning, it's like you're in the bathroom for no more than 45 seconds, because if you reach a minute and up, they're going, oh, he's pooping in there. So you don't even want to be in the bathroom. That I soften on. Eventually, it's like, yeah, got home from work. I went in there for 15 minutes. You know what went on. Or you walk in there and there's some smell afterwards. Or you walk in there and there's a candle lit and I lit a match and all that shit. You know what happened, but I had the courtesy to at least, put some space between it. I don't believe in doing it right then and there. And sometimes you end up in the fucking hospital. What do you want me to tell you? That is commitment to saving the relationship in my eyes. That woman is a romantic. That woman filled up with fucking gas like a goddamn hot air balloon, trying to make sure her boyfriend still thought she was hot. Now, she paid the ultimate price. She had to go to the hospital because she was filled with farts. You know.
So ridiculous.
Let me ask you this, Za. What do you think is less sexy? If I show you this girl, this poor woman getting wheeled out of the hospital in a gown and a mask, and she's like laying on the hospital table, and the diagnosis is filled up with farts, or if if she just farted in front of you, if you were watching TV and it was just like tugboats, would you rather that, or because I still think coming out of the hospital looking like that, I can deal with that mentally more than I can deal with you just fucking echoing through the room.
You can't come back from being put into hospital by a fart. You've been bodied back by a fart.
Because that's still
you cannot come back from that.
You got bodied by a fucking fart, man. But like when I look at you, I now my image of you is just like that. You look like if you got wheeled out of the hospital after surgery.
You saw a picture? She had like wires and shit. Wait, hold on. Let's put it back on.
She looked like fucking Bane.
She had like drips and wires just from a fart. You cannot come back from that.
Yo, she should have just been like, why did she even tell this story?
Yeah.
She should have just said, like, okay, the doctor probably comes in and says, you know what? I know that you thought you were having like a life-threatening attack, but we see this all the time. It was just gas. Just don't tell anybody that. Certainly don't make it front page fucking news unless this is all an elaborate scheme to get attention because you know that stories like this play. Just don't tell people that you let farts build up to the point that you needed to go to the fucking hospital.
This whole thing has me shook. I do a 15-hour flight. I do a 15-hour flight that I don't fart on every time I go home.
You don't
So now
fart
I'm thinking twice about that.
on a 15-hour flight. If you have to fart, you don't fart.
Bro, so the one time back in 2012, I went and I took a shit on that flight going over to Dubai. It was pretty early. I took it probably right after dinner, literally. So it was like an hour or two into the flight.
Right.
Went to the bathroom, took the shit, thing wouldn't flush.
Oh, no.
They had to put the whole X tapes out of order. People seeing it was the most embarrassing thing that's probably happened to me in my life. People seeing me walking out of that bathroom and it being turned to out of order.
Bro, so wait, you had the honor, though, to step out and be like, excuse me, this is not flushing?
I mean, I had to. Walk in, run into a nuclear warhead.
Well, if that's me, if I take a shit and it doesn't flush, and I'm in I just go right back to my seat, bro.
And
I go right back to my seat, and maybe the one guy who walks in after me would know. The rest of the people, they're gonna be like, I don't know who did that.
It was so embarrassing. So I walked to the ladies, to the flight attendants and all that, and it was a woman that came to go check it out.
Of course.
Took one look, she didn't even bother. She's like, all right, this is on.
It's like we can't even salvage this toilet. This thing is filled with shit. Yo, the worst experience I ever had on a plane. I was coming back from a bachelor party in New Orleans, and there's a point when you get a little bit older where you have your first hangover, where you're convinced it's more than a hangover. Like I had a million hangovers at this point in my life, but I was probably like 30 or some shit, a little bit older, and when the hangovers start to hit different, you start to realize, oh shit, I'm getting old. But this one was so bad that I started to scare myself, and I was like, something's actually wrong because there's no way this is just a hangover. And it was. That's all it was. It was just that I'm old and hungover, and it lasted a couple days, and it was probably the worst of my life. But in the moment, I was like, no, there's no way that this is just booze. I was stuck on the flight back, and I probably should have just stood up and been like, get me some fucking water. But you know how when you're on a plane, you turn into like a child?
Yep.
Where you're like, let me just sit here and I'll, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. Like, I won't break any of the rules. I'll have my seatbelt on. I'll put the tray up. I'll put my seat up, all this shit.
Mask on perfectly.
Yeah. And when it's like, I felt like I was going to die. And all I needed to do was be like, someone get me a bottle of water, please. But I was waiting for the cart to come by. And I'll never forget, they were doing like front and back.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for the one from the front. It's coming. They get to the row before me, and they just turn around and go back. And the girl from the back had started later, so I had to wait extra for her to get to me. Finally get a little water in me. I mean, It was one of those when you chug and you're done and it still feels like there's just sand in your mouth, like it didn't even put a dent in your thirst. Do that. I remember waiting, like we were like, going around on the fucking the ground still, taxiing, whatever, before takeoff, and I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna just get up and go to the bathroom. I know it's breaking the rules, but it was one of these tiny planes where the flight attendant put a seat down. And it blocks the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
And the no standing up sign was on, so I'm just sitting there waiting. I've got to shit. I've got to throw up. I don't know what's going on. I'm sweating like it's fucking Connor's wedding. And I got in that toilet. I got in that bathroom. And, they're like this fucking big. They're so tiny. And it was from the front, from the back. It was coming out of everything, dude. And I'm like spinning around back and forth.
Doing the pinwheel.
Oh, my God. And it was, it's only like like a 3 or 4 hour flight to get home from New Orleans. It was the worst experience of my fucking life, and I will never forget what I did to that bathroom. I didn't have any flushing problems, but they still should have put the X on it. They still should have been like, nah, man, don't go in there after that guy. But anyway, shout out to Polka. But she says, her message, this is, dude, a direct quote is, "I'm fine now. It was just an accumulation of trapped farts." She said, "Girls, do not be ashamed to fart in front of your guy. What's really embarrassing is not letting your guy sleep because you're in discomfort going to the hospital with your guy and the diagnosis being trapped farts." I mean, yeah, like I can understand if you had to wake me up in the middle of the night and I had to drag you to the hospital and sit in the emergency room and it turns out it was just farts, I'd probably laugh at you. I probably wouldn't be mad at you. I probably would be like, thank you, girl, because you did it for me. That's love, dude. It may be misguided, it may be immature and childish, and it may be the results of body expectations of the female, and they're too unrealistic, and the patriarchy and all that shit. I get it, but on the surface, is just a girl who was trying to stay hot for her man to the point that she put herself in pain. And that, my friends, they say beauty is pain, even if it's trapped, accumulated farts. Okay?
That we commend.
So I got to give a shout out to the New York Post because that was a headline of theirs. They've been on a hot streak. I legit quote tweeted them like a couple weeks ago. They had some story about, the headline was like, Hawaii couple owes like $18,000 in bills they didn't pay. And that was it. It was just some random couple who owed a lot of money. And I remember quote tweeting them being like, is this what the New York Post has become? The New York Post used to be like the bastion of weird news and funny blog titles and all that. And since that day, I swear to God, and they saw my tweet, they've been on a hot streak, just putting out articles and putting out headlines. And the trapped fart girl was one of them. Another one was the family who gave back their dog because they feared it was gay. This family, let me get the exact article up.
The story's unreal.
Yeah, you got it there. North Carolina family abandons a dog because they feared it was gay. I think it was a rescue dog, right? They pick him up. He's part of the family, and they saw him humping another dog who happened to be male, and they fucking sent him back like it's a goddamn, like they got a receipt for it. Can I return it for store credit for another dog, please? I mean, that is next level homophobia. That is some shit on a level that I don't even think I knew it existed. To think that your dog is gay?
Like, is this the first dog they've owned?
Dogs hump everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What if the dog humped one of your kids? Is he a pedophile too? I mean, what are we doing? They said it was so it's this. Oh, look how cute it is too. Fezco. I'm sure they named him after the dude from Euphoria. They just got him. They say they saw him humping another male pooch, thought he might be gay, brought him right back to the Animal Protective Services. Now they're seeking another 50-pound dog. I mean, come on, dude. They said he's about 4 or 5 years old, friendly guy, looks cute, and they fucking send him back. Yo, I hope the Animal Protective Service people, this family should be on like a list, like a no-fly list. No dogs for these fucking people. None. Your dog is gay.
I'm hoping this dog ends up like someone's going to adopt it and bring it to every single fucking gay Pride Parade and like march it around
Oh my
right
God.
through North Carolina. It's going to be
Out,
amazing.
out and about should adopt this dog.
Actually, there you go.
Absolutely.
Pat and Joey should adopt this dog and name him Ma'am, and make him the most flamboyantly gay dog I've ever seen. I wanted them to paint him rainbow colors. I wanted them to put little doggy high heels on him. Oh man, I was rocking. Did I tell you, Nick? I was rocking high heels yesterday.
Was it Joey's ones that he had hit?
Size
had in?
15. Joey Camasta has high heels that are a size 15, which I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, those are custom, right?
They gotta be, right? I mean, listen, I'm sure there are some bigger girls out there, but I don't know about size 15. But I guess now, you got, if you're trans or you're cross-dressing or whatever, you got to make sure there's enough for everybody. So, yeah, it's size 15 high heels that...
Kevin, I'm a 5.5. It's 10 times bigger than mine. I don't know if that's how feet size work,
so
but
fucking
I'm a
funny.
5.5.
I popped them on, and I had, so much space. I was trying to waddle around in those. I don't know how girls and guys who rock them do it. It is not easy, but the size 15s, they were joking around that they're bulletproof and that they can tow your Chevy with them. I mean, just those two are so fucking funny when they get going. But little doggy high heels, and maybe, and you know what? Maybe he is gay. Maybe at the end of the day, this dog is gay. Who fucking cares? We literally chop their balls off. They're not nothing. Poor things are getting fucking mutilated by us. Who knows if they're gay or straight? They don't have their sack anymore. But that was another headline from the Post where I was like, now we're getting back to the good stuff. Thank you, New York Post. Like, you fucking finally remembered who you are. That's the Post that I know and love back from my blogging days. Also, headline news was Kylie Jenner decided to pull the plug on her kid's name. And I know people don't like Kylie and the Kardashians, and I know they're all programmed, if you don't like them, to automatically hate everything that they do. But I'm here to stand up for the name changer. I think that should be more commonplace. I think it's fucking crazy. The amount of pressure we get, you got to name this kid, and that's it for life? You put it on an official government document, and that's fucking it. They got to roll with that moniker for the rest of their fucking life. Through their years of childhood where they're getting bullied, into their years of professional behavior, all the while that trends are occurring and bad things are happening. Like, I don't know. What if your name was fucking Adolf in the 1940s? You kind of got a bad rap, didn't you? You kind of got fucked pretty hard after World War II, didn't you? Probably going by your middle name, huh? I know a girl who's named Katrina. Guess what we used to think about prior to the hurricane? We used to just think about her. Now when I hear her name, you know what I think about? People starving to death on the fucking roofs of their houses while the government ignores them. That's not exactly a fair deal now, is it? There's that guy out there who was named Jerry Sandusky. He was just a different Jerry Sandusky, sitting around getting hate mail and death threats his whole life, all because of some made-up name that your parents just pulled out of a fucking hat. Now, Kylie and Travis Scott named this kid Wolf, and they found out that a lot of people apparently are naming their kids Wolf. A lot of other celebrities, I guess. I don't know for a fact, but I guess if you look around, a lot of people are naming their kids Wolf. So his name was officially Wolf Webster, which is a fucking dope name. That's like a power name right there. But they pulled the plug. We don't know the new name yet. I'm just saying, I feel like that should be a little more common. I think that you should be able to name your kid, and it doesn't have to be on the birth certificate right away. Or you can put the name down, and it's subject to change for the next. Put it this way: right now you can get a bed, a mattress, and try it for 100 nights free. And if you don't like it, you can return it, no questions asked. But your name for the rest of your life is one and done in the hospital within the first 36 hours of life. You should get in your name for a 100 nights risk-free trial where your family gets to call you names and gets to be like, we get to try it out. And then after 100 nights, we see if you don't like it anymore. and we can switch it. That should be how names work, because who knows? You name your kid something, and then all of a sudden you're playing with him, and you're looking at him, and you're like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't fit him or her. We got to come up with a good one. Wolf Webster, I think, is pretty fucking cool. If you are a celebrity, that works pretty well. I'm just wondering what they're going to switch it to, because the Kardashians are kind of running out of real estate here. They're running out of runway. When they named the one kid Psalm, that's tough. Like, Chicago is cool. They say Baby Shy. And Stormy is cute. Northwest is like a cute, get it with the directions. But Psalm is like, oh, man, we're really getting heavy into this fucking Jesus stuff. Can you fix this computer? I'm trying to log in. It won't work. To take the calls in a minute. What would you name your kid if you were Kylie and Travis Scott?
If I were Kylie and Travis Scott, you know what? I used to think about this a while ago. So my mom gave me 2 Zimbabwean names, and I always thought, what would my white name be?
Yeah. Okay. So So what's your full name?
So my government names are Zataida Tafara. Which Zataida means, loosely translated into English, means what we wanted.
Hell yeah.
Tafara, loosely translated into English, means we're happy.
You know what? You should use that as a pickup line on girls. Like, it's what you want, baby.
But I
That's
thought
me.
I thought I was for some period I thought I was a Sam.
A Sam.
Yeah.
A Sam?
Yeah.
Imagine if Za was Sam.
I thought I was a Sam.
That is fucking hilarious. Like Samuel or just Sam?
Just Sam.
Sam.
Literally just Sam.
Sam.
Because I didn't want the longer ones, because Rataida is very long and people get once you add too many syllables, people get slipped up. So I was just Sam.
What about Sammy?
Nah, just
Sam.
Literally just Sam.
Wow. I might start calling you Sam, bro.
Oh, please don't.
I might.
I don't know what
I
don't know what the fuck I was thinking then. I mean, once we got into like the puberty and maturity, especially coming into college, the name becomes a conversation starter. I'm like, dude, this is the best thing my mom ever did to me.
Za is awesome. Za is a fucking great name, because it's easy enough when you shorten it, and it's unique, but it's cool. It's not hard. It's not silly. Yeah. What does that mean? Oh, that's perfect. I think they should name, especially because Travis Scott being a rapper, I think they should name him Mike. But because I think, well, he's not a Jenner, though. I was thinking Mike Jenner is a strong name, but I would spell it like microphone. But he's not a Jenner. But Mike Webster, I feel like Mike Webster sounds like a name from like Bad Boys. Like he would fit in with Will Smith and Martin. Microphone, M-I-C, Mike. The beauty for them is they can name him whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. Everything plays. You can name him Helmet. Yeah. This guy is, he's Helmet Webster. Fucking whatever. You got 2 cool parents who are like dominating the world. If they say something's cool, it is. So you can take any nerd name. You can name him fucking Barstool. Name your kid. Someone out there one day is gonna name their kid Barstool. Some fucking massholes. Some massholes are gonna name their kid, or Viva. Somebody who got a little French background can name their kid Viva.
We've already gotten to the tattoo stage.
Yeah.
I guess that's nice.
That's for life. Next up is naming your fucking kid, man. Unreal, though, that they can just pull the plug and make news. And also in that world, you got the latest Kanye news, banned from the Grammys because they think he's going to be dangerous towards Trevor Noah, which is such bullshit. They are banning him from the Grammys because he's wild and crazy, and they don't want him to make a scene. There is no fucking chance that he would do anything violent or dangerous towards Trevor Noah.
They gave Trevor Noah the Grammys again?
I don't know if I actually didn't read that at all. I just heard that was the headline. That's a great point. I don't even know why Trevor Noah would be.
He did so bad last time. He came back from break and was like, well, everyone on Twitter says I suck at this. He's hosting?
Yeah, he's hosting again.
He's hosting it.
Yeah,
so they cut Kanye from performing. Trevor Noah is an interesting cat because I don't watch The Daily Show, so I can't speak on it. But I don't think he's one of people's favorites. I think that going from Jon Stewart to Stephen Colbert and then John Oliver having his spinoff, there's a lot of guys ahead of him who are very, very good, brilliant, and funny. And then Trevor Noah took over, And he took over at a hard time with everything becoming so politicized. And the Daily Show was always, liberal, like political show. But it got so bad. And Trevor Noah is an interesting one because I'm sure he came up as a stand-up comic. I'm sure he used to kill on stage. I'm sure he's wildly talented to be able to speak on camera and do the things he does. But you end up getting a show like that, and you naturally just accumulate a ton of fucking haters. Even if, like, you're great at it. It's almost like Daniel Tosh, but in a less serious way because he does Trevor Noah's doing, like, real, serious talks. But, like, Daniel Tosh kind of became, like, oh, that guy's not funny. I'm sick of him. He's on, and Impractical Jokers, same thing. You get a big TV show, and people just think you're like a sellout, and you're doing like clean, corny comedy, when in reality, it's like, no, I'm one of the funniest, talented people in the game. That's why they give me this big-time fucking show. So I don't think people are like knocking down the internet being like, look, you gotta watch Trevor Noah's latest clip. But he's obviously like super fucking talented to get to that spot.
I was actually when it happened. I was actually talking with my boys, and we were arguing. I brought up the fact that, especially like in what we do, it's very talent driven. If I were them, I just would have completely rebranded.
Yeah,
because it's like trying to get someone else. It's trying to get someone else. It's like, for example, trying to get like someone else to do the one bite as Dave.
You can't do that. You can't replace
somebody. The Daily Show was Jon Stewart.
Yes,
and he'd been doing it for like 30, 40 years, right? So it's
it's a long time.
Tough for Trevor to come in.
I agree. I mean, trying to replace an athlete, trying to replace a host, trying to replace a lead singer, whatever, is a daunting task. What I think you should usually do, and maybe this is what Trevor Noah is you replace somebody. I guess they already had Stephen Colbert, so you can't really use this analogy. But what I think you should do is you almost have like a sacrificial lamb that you put in there first, so people are like, oh my God, this guy fucking sucks.
Yep.
And then whoever you bring in after that, people are like, oh, we love him because he didn't replace the legend. He replaced the guy that everybody hates. But for the first time ever, Trevor Noah is getting that attention because he had this segment on The Daily Show that was like beautiful, man. It was this like long ass solo soliloquy where he was just talking about how scary and sad and potentially dangerous the Kanye situation might get because his mom got shot in the head by either his father or just her ex. I don't know if it was. I think it was just a guy that she was dating or married to that didn't have any relation to Trevor.
In South Africa?
I don't know. I believe so. Yeah, I think it was when they were in South Africa. So her mom had like a domestic incident, and he was like harassing her and stalking her, and it escalated to the point that he fucking shot her in the head. And by the grace of God, she was okay. It didn't hit any. It missed like her brain, her major arteries, everything. So he was like, on his show, he was like, listen, I understand that sometimes these things are for publicity. And if that's the case, so be it. And I understand that you exaggerate on the internet. And if you guys are doing that, then okay. But I would rather be safe than sorry. And what I'm telling you here is I've seen these situations. I've seen where someone harasses and it gets personal and it gets serious. And I don't want that to escalate to the level that it did in my family. And it was just very honest and real and like very well executed. And then Kanye just hops on the internet and clowns him again. And Trevor Noah continues to play this perfectly where he's like, listen, dude, I get it. You want to make fun of me? Fine. You want to be, the macho tough guy? Fine. I'm just telling you, you're being an asshole to your ex-wife and to your kids, and you need to chill out. And he just keeps being, like, taking the high road and being the mature one, and it just highlights how fucking stupid Kanye's being. It's just such a scumbag thing, man. As a guy who's like a divorced guy myself, and I have to think about like everything I do and how it represents my kids and how it represents her, and like I am always just trying to do whatever makes her life easiest and my kid's life the best. And if I just can't even imagine like talking shit about her boyfriend or clowning her and utilizing the kids on social media to like make them look bad. It's such a bad look for anybody, let alone this guy who, claims to be in touch with religion and God and being a good person. It's like, shut the fuck up, you goddamn fraud. It's unreal how much he gets away with. And all the Kanye stans just I don't know, let him get away with it because he's an artist, because he's a genius. No, he's a dickhead. He's a fucking dickhead. You can make music and be a dickhead. You can make great music and be a bad person. We've seen it with R. Kelly. You can make music and be a creep like Michael Jackson. We don't excuse everything. A lot of people still do, but most normal people don't. And I don't understand why Kanye gets this free pass where they think, oh, it's funny. It's like, no, this is like probably weird and scary and super fucking annoying for a woman like Kim Kardashian. Trevor Noah said it best. He's like, Kim Kardashian is a billionaire. She's one of the most powerful women on the planet. And she can't get this guy to stop texting her, to stop bothering her, to stop harassing her online. It's fucking crazy, man. And people get nuts on social media and they get like all fucking wacky with the power of the phone. They start talking shit. I got a girl talking shit right now. Nick, you saw this yesterday. This girl went to our live show and is still talking shit, which is a very funny dynamic that I'm not used to. In my long, illustrious, storied career here at Barstool Sports, almost 15 years now, 10 years of KFC radio, I have yet to experience this. And I'll tell this story, and then we'll get to the calls. So if you're on hold now, continue to hold. And if you want to call in now, now's the time to do it. Put up the number. Oh yeah, there's 888-STOOL-22. This is the first time I've ever experienced this sort of hater because we've been so online, and this is now a real life in-person thing at live shows, which is something we've never dealt with. Hecklers, we've never dealt with people who come out to see us. So one of the segments we do at the live show, and we do it specifically at the live show and not on the internet because it would be a whole to-do.
But let's do it on the internet real quick.
But we're just going to mention what it is the Me Too 2 movement. And it's for guys who experience their own form of harassment and abuse from women when it comes to relationships and sex. And it's obviously different because it's not in the form of violence and aggression physically, but it's always emotional and mental and internet trauma and harassing and stalking and like, you know, manipulation and blackmail and extortion and threats on the internet and all that kind of shit. I know personally how it can go when you get blasted personally, publicly online. And so there's this whole other side that really doesn't ever get addressed or talked about. And I'm bringing light to it, but we're also doing it in like a funny way. We played a bunch of TikToks of girls who are proudly and defiantly behaving crazy. And so I guess this
committing a felony, one of them.
Like, yeah.
Well, maybe it's not. That might be one of those, like, technically there's no law.
But weird behavior. So the latest trend on TikTok is you just film yourself. And how does the song go? It says, like, I'm crazy.
It says, like, crazy.
Crazy. I'm so crazy. And they put the text on the screen of, like, the craziest, scariest, most immature behavior they've ever displayed when it comes to just guys, like, wanting to break up with them. It's like, my ex-boyfriend wanted to break up with me, so I fucked his best friend, and I recorded it, and I showed it to him. One girl said that and this one was kind of funny, and that's why we put it on the show, because we actually still want it to be funny. This girl planted potatoes in the front lawn of her guy who cheated on her or something, and then when it rained, his whole fucking front lawn became like a potato farm. So we put those up, and we have a joke about, you know, how girls are crazy, and they can be abusive in relationships as well. And I guess this girl who came to our show did not like that. And she began this Twitter thread just absolutely hating on the show. And I was like, that is just a new level. I've heard of hate follow. I've heard of hate watch and hate listen. I have yet to experience hate live. Live and in color hate, where I almost got to tip my cap as the #1 hater of the year. If you pay $40 and come out to my show and put money directly in my pocket and watch, only to then just hop online and complain and trash the show.
What's funny too is from her tweets, I think she also went and listened to the podcast.
I'm sure.
And then was, because she was referencing things we talked about in the podcast and being
not
like,
the show,
bringing it back. She's like, well, I only blinked when that happened. And it was
yes.
Like, wait, what?
Right. So not only did she go to the live show, but then she listens to the follow-up episode. And I'm like, Thank you for all your support, girl. She was going on and on. She said she was trying to film the empty seats, being like, "This isn't a sellout." She was trying to say that like our opening act, which was a bagpiper, wasn't on long enough. She said we were comparing the segment to men who rape and murder girls, which like never fucking happened. And just going on and on about like these, and I just kept saying like, "You bought a ticket, girl. You came to the show." And she was like, "Oh, well, I got it from a homeless man for 50 cents. And the only reason I showed up was because I knew that your lame fans would buy me free drinks." Like, what the fuck ever? You paid money to come to this show and then are taking the time to listen to another episode and then continue to hate online. It's that makes me feel good. And that also is a sick part of me that I acknowledge I need to work on myself. But I genuinely felt like, gotcha, bitch. Like the fact that you're willing to do all of that hate and I mean, it's one thing when you listen to the podcast. It's another thing when it's like legitimately I took your money and I put it in my pocket. You can come to that. You can go do that every fucking show. Every single time we're live. Come on down. You can hate all you want as long as the check clears, girl. That's all that matters.
That
homeless man tweet is on.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen that. You know what? I hope that's fucking real because I want. You know what? I want to thank that homeless guy.
Read it out. Don't put it up because I don't want people harassing or anything like that.
So
read it out loud.
I gave a homeless man 50 cents for your tickets because I knew the fuckboys who listened to you would be buying me 6 rounds of drinks for free. But I left after 3 because I couldn't stand to listen to any of you speak, even for less than an hour, which pathetically is all you could last for up there. That's unbelievable.
I gotta tip my cap, man. I got to tip my cap because there were some actually, we had a funny moment where the first show sold out in like, I think it was 4 minutes. And then when we got there and it was time to go on stage, there were empty seats. And I was kind of like, yo, what's this about? Like, should we wait a few more minutes to let people come in? And they were like, no, there's no line outside. Like, unfortunately, this is just it. And I was like, oh, fuck, I guess some people didn't want to come. And there was this old security guard who I bet you has been working at the Wilbur.
He was the house manager.
The house manager? Okay.
Yeah.
So he has been there for 100,000 years. He's in a black on black suit. He's got the earpiece in, and I'm kind of like down. I was like, oh, I thought this was place. I knew that we sold 1,000 tickets, and it was a sellout. I thought it was going to be packed to the gills, and there was a couple empty swaths. And he goes, March Madness, kid. It's March Madness. I've seen it 1,000 times. Everybody loses their bets in the early games, and then they got to tighten up their money. They return their tickets. They can't go out anymore. Don't take it personal. And I was like, oh, my God. In that moment, I wasn't even mad. I was like almost happy that happened. I was like, this is such a unique thing. Like, it's probably why we got the Wilbur reservation in the first place. It's very hard to get like a weekend spot like we got, and it's probably because it was in the middle of March Madness, and it was St. Patrick's Day, and it's not the best time to do a show, but I will gladly take a Friday night prime time to do it there. But when he was like, March Madness, kid, I was like, oh, you've seen it all, dude. You probably know every trend of this place. So that girl started filming empty seats, being like, this is not a sellout, and I was just trolling her back, being like, well, all the guys in their section must have known that you were there, because I would be clearing out from your lame ass. But anyway, thank you to everyone in Boston who did come out for the shows. I thought they were our best shows ever, specifically the first one. I thought the first one was like the best performance live or otherwise that me and John have ever put on. So I really encourage you to get tickets. I've always thought our shows are good, but I always knew there was some kinks to work out, and I wasn't fully comfortable on stage yet, and it wasn't like the best performance. Now I'm like, I know that this show is absolutely great, and everybody who's coming next up is going to get like a real good performance. So Nashville, Philly on sale now. Chicago will be putting on sale soon enough, but Philly is the next big one. And you got work to do, Philly. I said it on the podcast. I wanted Philly to sell out like that, and unfortunately it didn't. So show me what you got, Philly. I thought you guys were hardcore stoolies, and right now, as it stands, Boston blew you guys out of the water. So get your KFC radio tickets to the Fillmore. It's on May 19th. You can get tickets on our social media pages. You can see all the links to the tickets.
That's the Nashville one?
Nashville is already sold out. Philly is...
Wait, when's the Nashville one?
Nashville is April 21st at the Nashville comedy festival.
I've got a bachelor party in Nashville in April. I don't know the specific.
Bro, if you are there at the same time, you have to come on our show.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me figure that out.
If you are there for the comedy festival week, we need Za on stage doing what Za does. It's absolute magic. Now, let's get to the phone lines. 11 o'clock start. Right on the button because I'm a fucking pro with an internal clock who knows exactly what we're doing. Let's go to...
Can you do the read real quick?
Oh, yeah, because it's brought to you by Cuts Clothing. Cuts Clothing is one of the most important pieces of my wardrobe, of my closet. Because I remember thinking, I reached a point a couple years ago where I was like too old to dress like in my regular old like Barstool shirt that has like some dumb slogan on it with some silly picture on it. And I was too young to like, I didn't want to be wearing like polos all day like my dad. And boom, along comes Cut Clothing, which is perfect for that 30-something, late 20-something male, and even younger, but particularly that guy who wants to be an adult and look presentable and professional and distinguished, but also is still young enough that he wants to just rock a T-shirt and a hoodie and a long-sleeve tee, and that's exactly what Cuts is. It's made from quality materials. It's comfortable materials. It's cut in a way so it actually makes you look pretty fit. I mean, if it makes me look fit, then you know it makes anybody look fit. It comes in all of the classic, like, standard colors. You get black, white, tan, navy, gray. All of the, just grab it off the rack. It matches with everything you wear. It's comfortable enough to hang out around the house, yet it's stylish enough to go out on a date, and it's professional enough to go to the office when you're doing some business casual. It is the perfect cut clothing, whether you do the crew neck, the V-neck, or the crew neck, the V-neck, or the Henley. They've also got the scoop cut on the bottom, or the elongated cut, or the split hem, so you can mix and match the colors plus the cut. And what is the promo code? I never ended up checking it, Nick. It's you go to cutsclothing.com/what?
By the way, I just got my first pair of Cuts, and it's well, not pair, but my first T-shirt from Cuts. It's awesome.
It's the real deal, right?
It's great. I need to get more.
Yep.
Kevin.
It's cutsclothing.com/Kevin to get 20% off your first order on the only shirt worth wearing. Let's go to Sean in Hoboken talking about the fart girl. What's up, Sean? Sean, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, brother?
Yo, so listen, the girl that wouldn't let her farts out, where does this fall on weirdest things people have done for clout? Like, I asked that question because it's like the people that have mishaps at the gym, and they're self-filming it.
Yeah.
And somehow that gets posted, right? Like, you have to let that stuff out in order to get some sort of reaction. Like, are people that wild that they want to like let people know they had to hold in a fart and go to the hospital for clout? Like, I could think of other things.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying, where it's like you could have just not only not told this to the press, but you could have lied. You could have just said, like, yeah, I had an ulcer in my stomach. That was what the problem was. And you don't have to tell anybody any of this embarrassing shit. This is up there, but also it might be kind of smart. It might be savvy. Because, listen, I think about this shit a lot especially when non-famous people go viral for a bad reason or an embarrassing reason. And you're like, oh, my God, like, don't you, like, you feel bad for that guy. And it's like, would you recognize this person on the street? Does anybody actually care? Maybe people in that guy's circle are going to make fun of him or her because she's the fart girl or she got dumped on TikTok or whatever the fuck it is, right? But think about how does it actually impact your life? Like, it doesn't, right? You know what I mean? It's just, at the end of the day, like, if you see this girl right now, Sean, you'd be like, I don't know, that's a fucking rocket from Brazil. That's what I know about her. And if you heard some story about, like, she went to the hospital because of farts, I think you'd be like, oh, I don't give a fuck, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and one last thing. Did you see this girl running around St. Patty's Day celebrations with lipstick kissing guys with white T-shirts?
Yep.
Like their backs.
Yep. Now, so that is funny because somebody said add this to the list for crazy behavior of girls. It's this video of a girl at a bar. The dudes are like dancing or whatever. They just have their back turned to her while they're talking to their friends. And this girl with big red lipstick is just planting kisses on the back of his shirt. and they're doing it quickly so that it just feels like somebody's bumping into you or whatever in a crowded bar. Meanwhile, this guy has like 25 lip prints all over his back. And a lot of people were like, look at this. This is more crazy behavior. Like, add this to the list for me too. And that one, I gotta say, I got a kick out of. Yeah, look at this. If you're watching now the video, like she's like a kiss bandit, and these guys have no idea. Now, I will say, when you go home to your girl and you've got a whole fucking slew of kisses on your shirt, you might not be in the best of shape. But also, it's
like,
on your back. What?
Like, yeah, that's not funny. Going back with kisses back to the girl.
Now that's a problem. But if other than that, if that happened to me, I mean, I guess if you're wearing like an amazing shirt that you love, it would be annoying. But I think I would get a kick out of that if I found out that I was the victim of a kissing bandit that's like slobbering on your back. As long as you're not getting in trouble with your girl, and as long as your shirt's not like $1,000, this is the kind of shit that I think is a good level of crazy, a good level of funny. I'm not going to get bent out of shape about that. But all of these videos, all these people, when somebody goes viral, it's like, I'm so embarrassed, and who cares? Oh, let's talk about the Jack Mack Twitter drama. Let's talk about that.
Some unbelievable stuff.
How long can I go, Nick?
11:30.
11:30. Okay, perfect. We got enough time then. Keep hanging on the line if you want to get your call in. We got a few right now on hold. So Jack Mack, Jack McGuire, ran a Twitter space, which is something he's done every now and then, where he's like the moderator, and he has a few people who are at the center of some dating drama in New York, and he kind of Maury Povich's that shit. Maybe Jack Mack should take over for Maury. Didn't Maury just retire?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
shout out to Maury.
I don't know how
legendary
he finds the stories,
career.
Man. I do not know how Jack finds his stories.
Well, I know, because there's this crew of people on Twitter that are from New York and New Jersey area, and they all just put their drama out there. They're all fucking each other and dating each other and hanging out with each other. And I think Jack Mack follows a lot of them as well, so he just kind of picks up on all their personal drama. And there was this tale of this dude. This is almost, people said I should have done a 1 minute man on it. I'm considering it because there was 5,000 people in his Twitter space the other night listening to him moderate this argument. It was this guy went on a date with this chick and was upset that she catfished him. She looked one way in her Instagram. She looked another way in real life. She said she looked different and that she was a lot heavier, let's say, than she was on Instagram. And this guy was very upset about that, and he was DMing the dude who I think set them up and was like, what the fuck, man? What have you done to me? This girl's fat. And on top of that, he also said that she stole $400 from him, which eventually, so Jack Mack gets in this Twitter space. And I don't know how it starts. I don't know if he reaches out to them and says, hey, do you guys want to come on and talk about this? I don't know if he just starts up the Twitter space and then eventually they join. I don't know how he does it. He's a magic maker on that thing.
So there's some couple recurring characters that seem to be open. Yeah, so
got
like
it. So he probably has a connection with them. Yeah, and he says, why don't we hop in and do
they're
this
the
again?
Ones that are in the mix, very much in the mix with the guys.
So he starts talking with the guy and the girl and learning about the catfishing and learning about the $400. We eventually come to learn that it was $400 worth of coke that he says she stole. And so he's complaining about like stolen goods, but it's fucking drugs. Now, bear in mind, this guy is using like his government name. Apparently, he's a lawyer, working at some like fancy law firm,
making $300K a year.
Making $300K a year, as he said, because he's talking about this, this girl that was fat and stole his coke. Turns out that she didn't steal it. She just poured a bunch of water on his coke when it was out on the plate. But the madness that ensued, Jack was on there for like an hour and a half. And at one point, Jersey Jerry called in and said, sometimes being catfished is not the worst thing in the world. Actually, can you find that clip? I want the people to hear it from Jerry's mouth, because it's if you go to his Twitter, I know at one point he replied to somebody with the clip, so I'm sure it's on there. He was talking about his own experience getting catfished, and you got to hear what he has to say. At one point, the dude, it was an all-time line from him. He kept saying, "My sister's overweight, and I love her very dearly." Like, just an awful ricochet shot for this guy's sister, because he was like, no, because the girl kept saying, "You don't like me because I'm fat." He was like, "No, my sister's fat. No big deal." It was this mess of it was basically a Maury Povich show playing out live on the internet. Do we have the Jersey Jerry clip?
Fish isn't the worst thing that could happen. I was catfished on Tinder, had a date set up at the Houston Steakhouse, pretty good steakhouse. Ended up paying for dinner. She was really fat, but, top 3 blowjob still I've ever had. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
top three blowjob I've ever had in my
was
life.
in Texas.
Also, one of the best moments was the guy. If you're an internet OG person, you remember Dimitri the douchebag. If you remember him, he was this guy who was harassing this chick, leaving her endless voicemails, being like, "I am Dimitri, and I'm like the man. I make money, and I'm a great lover, and you are an asshole, and you're letting me go, and it's going to be the biggest mistake of your life." That was this guy trying to clear his name. And at one point, after being like, "You're fat and ugly, and you catfished, and you stole my drugs," and he was so rude and so awful, this guy goes, I hope I cleared my name a little bit. Does anybody think that I maybe cleared my name? And Jerry goes, "Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say no on that one, Pete." It was so fucking funny the way he delivered it. It was, if you go to Jack Mac's Twitter, I think his is Jack Mac CFB.
Yeah, he's got the full
He has a
version
10-minute.
on there. Yeah, the full version on
He has
there.
like a 10-minute supercut. It's not the full version because the full version was like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But he has a 10-minute
Of all the juicy
supercut
stuff.
of all the juicy shit. And it is some genuinely entertaining. I mean, on a trash level. It's like watching reality TV play out on Twitter. I think he's got something there. I would love to flesh this out a little bit and maybe start some sort of like we haven't done like a Maury Povich type show on
Yeah.
Barstool, and I think we could crush that with
Do a reality show.
We did it on Clubhouse a little bit similar to what Jack Mac's doing here, where we played matchmaker and we paired people up. But I would love to do more of the drama and find out like, we could. It's almost like People's Court mixed with Love Connection, mixed with a game show or some shit where it's like you went on a date, it went horrible, and we want to hear your drama. Nick, add it to the list. We got to do another show, babe.
All right, yeah, we'll toss it on there. That'll be number 9 of the week.
Let's go back to the calls. And again, if you want to hear that whole story, I think it's Jack Mac CFB. Is that it? We'll
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jack Mac CFB.
CFB.
You can listen to the whole rundown. Let's go to London. Talking about the KFC Radio Live show. What's up, London? What's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How are you?
Not bad. Dude, I wanted to go to the Boston show, but I fucked up. I went to something else in Foxwood. You know that guy, Kirill?
Yes. The Slut Whisperer?
Yeah, dude. So I went to that show thinking I was going to get laid. Didn't happen. I fucked up. Yeah, it sucks.
I could see people thinking that. If you don't know Kirill, he's the Slut Whisperer. He made his money basically being a party guy who just sprays champagne on sluts. I could see people thinking that is a place where you're going to there's going to be tons of pussy and you're going to get laid. Kind of like Yacht Week, but I could see it also being a total flop once you go to one of his events.
Dude, it backfired. It was a huge sausage fest, and every chick that was there was taken.
Yeah, I think I can't say that KFC Radio is exactly crawling with chicks, but the first show I think was good. The second show, I'm not gonna lie, was a bunch of drunk ass dudes who were just letting it rip and having a good time. It was a boys' night at 10 o'clock, but the 7 o'clock show I think was almost like 50-50. I would say it was a good time. It was a good place. The thing about doing a live show is that all the girls there are like kind of down if you're listening and watching our show and coming out for it. So they're down to clown and have a good time. So it's actually a good place to meet chicks despite what people think.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's more my crowd, too, because I'm more of, into, the comedy shit and just fucking around and joking around and shit.
Yeah.
More than,
we'll be coming back to Boston for sure, no doubt. I mean, the way that it sold out there was as much as I'm a New York guy, I know obviously that Boston is the heart of Barstool, so they did not disappoint when we put those tickets on sale. So we will be coming back for sure.
Sooner than later.
That would be awesome, man.
Sooner than later. We got, go ahead. What do you got?
So I sent in a video to you guys for whatever the fuck that segment's called.
Voicemails?
I can't think of it right now, but I had a question for you. Kind of funny. So my neighbor, was a good buddy of mine. Told me one time he was jerking off, and he's pretty well hung, and he wanted to see if he could, fit the tip in his mouth, and he said he could, and he said he fooled around with it. And my question being, would you consider that gay, or is that just masturbation?
No, that's just masturbation. You jerk yourself off. If you jerk off another guy's dick, you're like, that's all weird, right? But you jerk your own dick. Well, if you got the physical ability to maybe suck yourself, anybody who says they wouldn't suck their own dick or wouldn't try or give it a whirl if they had the physical ability is a liar. I've been saying it for years now. If you don't like it, that's fine. If it's not for you, okay. But do not tell me you wouldn't experiment. If I could hit you fairy godmother style with a fucking wand and be like, bingo, you got your za.
I don't know about that one, Kevin. I don't know about
you
that
would
one.
go home in the privacy of your own home. If you were just sitting there cracking it like usual and you knew somehow, some way that for whatever reason, you now had the ability to suck your own dick, there is no way you wouldn't give it a try.
That one's a sticky one, literally and figuratively.
I'm not saying you got to blast yourself. I'm not saying you got to swallow. I'm just saying you would try it. My thing, I would absolutely do it. I wouldn't even worry about it being gay. I don't give a shit, whatever. My thing would be, it's like when you're 69. It's like you're doing more work than you're 69ing yourself is what you're doing. Think about that. You're doing the work while you're receiving. It's just a one-man 69. And whenever I'm 69ing, I'm worried about my performance and I'm not enjoying what I'm receiving. And this would be the ultimate. I'd be bent over, my legs are over my head. It would not be enjoyable. But I would for sure try it. And anybody who says otherwise is a goddamn fucking liar.
Aren't there like people that take out ribs to do that shit?
That's what the old urban legend was that
take out your bottom rib, right?
Was that Marilyn Manson had the bottom ribs removed so that he could suck his own dick. And I'm sure there are people who have done that in real life. I don't know if Marilyn Manson's one of them, but I'm sure there are people out there who definitely do that. Let's go to David in Long Island talking about the live show. What's up, Dave?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What do you got for us?
I got two things. First of all, I'm planning on taking my girlfriend to go see you guys in Philly at the Fillmore.
Let's go.
And so she knows who you guys are. She knows you from 1 Minute Man.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually grew up right around where Feidelberg did in Fall River over there.
Perfect.
But she has never listened to an episode of KFC Radio, and I'm on the fence about whether I should show her one or just take her in blind and just let her react.
Bro, take her in blind and let her react. This happens to us every single show. Multiple people do exactly what you're talking about, and I'm not kidding. Every single person I've ever talked to walks away loving it. Now, that might mean that they're only the people that we talk to. So maybe there are couples who run out and never talk to us again because she hated us. But the people who are cool, all of the girls that we've ever talked to say the same thing. My boyfriend took me here, or my boyfriend dragged me here, and they walk out being like, I'm going to listen to the podcast. I'm a full fan. It's because it's just a fun-ass show. Now, if you're a wet blanket like that chick who got all upset about us joking about Me Too, that's a different story. You should probably know your girl by now whether or not she's one of those type of people. As long as she's just like cool and kind of like down to clown, I think she will not only will it be okay, I think she'll walk out being a fan.
I was thinking the same thing. No, she has a great sense of humor. I took her to go see Burt Kreischer when he was at Madison Square Garden.
Done. If she likes Burt,
UFC fights, and she loved Burt, so I was like, yeah.
Speaking of Burt, in about 90 minutes, we got Burt Kreischer back on KFC Radio, which is, he is, to me, the best in the game. The most versatile, the biggest personality, the best businessman, the best conversationalist, all of it, man. And when he was in last time, we had what I thought was the greatest podcast ever recorded. So he's back.
That was a good one.
Yeah, so it's gonna be another doozy that'll probably be out. I'm imagining we're putting that one on Thursday. Yeah, so we'll drop that Thursday on KFC Radio. My computer fucked up. Can you put Corey on?
Corey on.
What's up, Corey?
Hey, what's up, my genius friend?
Corey, I almost forgot. It's almost like I didn't know that you were the guy who thinks I'm a genius, and I absolutely put you on purpose to wrap up the show here. What do you got for me, Corey? Tell me what you think about me and my show.
Well, I love your show. I listen every week, obviously. Probably your biggest fan.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, is there ever a chance and I know this is a very slim chance, you come to Buffalo and do a live show.
No, I wouldn't say that's a slim chance. We will go anywhere where there is people who will buy tickets. As long as we can sell out, as long as we can fill I want to say 300. No, as long as we can do 250 people. I don't want to do anything lower than that. But I know that there's a Buffalo comedy scene. I know it's not like fucking New York or L.A., but I know guys like Josh Potter have come up in Buffalo. I know that we got Bill's Mafia people, Salt of the Earth people. It's for sure. I don't want to get your hopes up and be like, we're coming out tomorrow. But I will go as far to say is that we will absolutely. It's a 100% chance that eventually we will go up to Buffalo. We'll probably maybe one time we'll mix it in with when the Pats or Jets are playing for me or Feidelberg. We'll make it work and we'll do it for a reason. But we'll take KFC Radio live to wherever people want it. I said I don't know if it quite translates, but back in the day when we did the Blackout Tour, we used to have people make Twitter accounts for certain colleges and be like, follow this account if you want the Barstool Blackout Tour to come to our campus. And that way, when someone had 5,000 followers, we knew that place had a large contingent of fans. Now, I don't know if it quite translates because it's not a college campus. We're not talking about the Blackout Tour, which was a traveling circus of drugs and sex. But if there's a way that you can convey from your city that there's a lot of fans who want to see KFC Radio Live, we'll take a look at it and we'll absolutely go. But I can tell you that Buffalo being already having a connection to the Barstool world, we will come through at some point. And if you're there, Corey, obviously you're a man of great taste with great opinions. So,
hell yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's wrap up on that note. Corey, I say that we wrap up every single show all the time with you calling in and reminding the people of what I am. So why don't you tell them what you think of me? What do you think I am, Corey?
You're the most underrated genius in the history of the world, standing next to me.
I'll leave you on that note. Shout out to Corey. Thank you. Coming from an underrated genius. I appreciate everybody who called in. Thanks for listening today. We'll hit you guys next week. Make sure you subscribe to the KFC Radio YouTube. That's where this show airs every single week on Wednesday. Right now, it's Feidelberg's turn for the Blade Bet. I know what he's up to, okay? I know what's going on. There's some shenanigans going on here. I don't know the extent of it, but I know what it's predicated upon, and I think it's bullshit and shenanigans, but I still know that I will win this bet because I think what I have up my sleeve will be better than what he has up his sleeve. But what I'm going to tell you to do is not subscribe right now. Usually I tell everyone to subscribe right now, but it's Feidelberg's week for the Blade Bet. That's where whoever loses has to shave their face clean. Feidelberg's about to cheat, so don't subscribe now, but wait till next week. That's when I think I'll be back on the ones and twos, and you can finally subscribe. But every week, Wednesday, 10 a.m., it's KFC Radio on the YouTube, which is really it's a Kevin Clancy show on the YouTube, which is cooking now. We're also going to be in Nashville next month, where we plan to do a full week of shows, sort of like what we used to do at Barstool Radio, but it'll be on the KFC Radio YouTube. So we got a lot of new shit cooking on that channel. It's all organized into different playlists and everything, all the content you need video-wise from me and John and everything under our umbrella. The vlog every week, 1 Minute Man every day. All the video content you need. And just to shout out Nick and all the producers on it, last week we were the number 3 YouTube channel behind the Barstool Sports channel itself and $1 Million Worth of Game. Those two pages are 10 times as big as ours and only did 4 times as many views. So what we're doing on the KFC Radio YouTube is genuinely special. We're growing it from the bottom up, and we're already competing with the top dogs at Barstool. So make sure you subscribe because it's well worth it. All you got to do is have a Gmail login, and you can catch us every single week. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, hit the bell so you get notifications every time an episode's about to go live. And I'll catch you mutts next week on The Kevin Clancy Show.